Collaborative co-teaching is a model where students who were previously determined to be students are placed in a regular general education class. At Lincoln, we have 8 students who have that designation, and now they are working with their RSP teacher in the class full-time and with their regular education teacher, so they co-teach. This has been a tremendous model for us to witness and for students. So now that Q1 is over, we have some data, and what we're noticing with our students is that for Ms. Arteaga and Mr. Rodriguez's class, they have the highest foundational skills scores for the FIRSA and print concepts. They're at 87%, and the district average is 53%. So in that particular area, they're doing very well. And then the other 2 areas, phonics and word recognition and phonemic awareness, they'll be tested on in January. But so far the data is super promising. In math, 6 of the 8 children, so 75% of the students that were sent to us, are scoring 80% or higher on their Math Unit 1 and Unit 2 tests. So this model is allowing students to be part of a general education class, and the expectation is that they're going to perform as a student in a general education class. And so they're rising to those challenges, and they're doing a great job. Parents are really liking this class. They're seeing their students do more, their children do more than they've ever done before. It's not just about academics, it's about how are kids taking care of themselves, how are kids relating to other people, and how are they being in their lives, and really their quality of life is higher, and parents are thrilled.
I pretty much teach the same way. My expectations have always been high, and they're still high. The students that are coming in with the mild, moderate, and the IEPs are still held to the highest standards and highest expectations, of course with the modifications or accommodations that come in their IEPs. But for the most part, you can't really tell which students are identified or gen ed. The mild, moderate students are scoring up there with the gen ed students, and some of them even surpassing the gen ed students.
And not only the scores, because I know that that's important, but also how the children, how our little ones feel. We want them to feel like they really welcome in the classroom, that they really can be there, and they can really be open, and and they can feel the love. Not just between them, but also with the teacher. So you really get to know the teacher and the student. The communication, I feel like, is very important for us both to have, so that way if there is something that we see that is not working, the planning too, and both of us really giving our feedback, like if I do a lesson or he does a lesson, kind of, how do you think it went and how can we improve it? So I feel like if you have the right person, and you can work with the person, I feel like that will really benefit the classroom and the students.
I'll just say that my teachers have been absolutely amazing. It's really hard to take 2 classroom teachers and put them together in one classroom. The teachers have had to compromise and plan every step of the way together, and they have done an outstanding job. The collaborative model, it only works if they can collaborate, and to get the results that we're getting takes a lot of focus and a lot of time and a lot of compromise. And I am so proud of the way that those 2 teachers, Mr. Rodriguez and Ms. Arteaga, have been able to create such a wonderful classroom environment for our students.
When we look at a collaborative co-taught classroom, it is one model that can support an inclusive school. Inclusive schools are much more than just a collaborative co-taught classroom. It's about the whole culture of the school. It's about that mindset. It's about that appreciation of diversity. But in a collaborative co-taught classroom, in one of our CCT classrooms, they're really designed in a way that brings together kids of all abilities.
Here at Emerson, it works in the sense that we have myself, whose background is a regular elementary kindergarten teacher, in the classroom, and we have Mrs. Porcher, whose background is in special education as an education specialist, and we work together in a classroom with 25 kids who have a variety of abilities and a variety of needs and a variety of strengths. And we work together to make sure that we're meeting the needs of all of that diverse group of kids.
Now we are planning together as much as we can and adapting to each other as partners because we do see each other every day, and we have to be used to kind of a give and take versus it's all me and then I'm gonna tell you what I wanna do. It's going to be all us. And sometimes things work and sometimes things don't, but it's nice to be able to have communication that's open and kind of leave your ego at the door.
One of the things I love to watch and see how my students are growing is within that small group setting, because it's a mix of students. You have your gen ed kids and your students with IEPs. All of the gen ed students are, most of them are pretty advanced in language, so they're providing these models. And I can see the students with IEPs listening, and so when I get to them, they typically answer in a complete sentence. But one of the most important parts is utilizing the curriculum to create speech lessons. One of the things moving into the CCT room that I really wanted to do was utilize their curriculum that they're learning to then work in these small group settings so I could really tailor their language goals. And what I've noticed is that by utilizing the curriculum, the students are more apt to answer.
In kindergarten, everyone's squirmy and everybody's running around and everyone's learning. Here, there's no difference. Nobody knows that this child has an IEP. It's only the adults that know it. So the kids, they all treat the same way. They go out there and play together. They all want to go down the slide together. They just want to have fun and get to learn. And it's neat to see that no matter what child in that class, when they get it, their eyes sparkle. And it's so cute to see them, learn. The results have been awesome. Recently just did our data analysis for the first 90 days of school. And most of the kids in the class that have an IEP have already reached their goals. A goal that was supposed to be achieved by June, by the first 90 days of school, they've achieved it. The students that do have an IEP are scoring way higher than the other students that don't have an IEP. So I think they're showing their potential that if they were just in a regular class, they probably wouldn't be able to show that potential. But because the teachers have high expectations, are teaching to the standards, are really looking at the data, they're differentiating their instruction, they do their small group instruction, they do everything that teachers are supposed to be doing, they're doing it, and it's showing the results of the students.
If there's one teacher, they can't help two people at one time. But if we have two teachers, the two teachers could help two people at one time.
Having two teachers because if two people need help, two people could help two people.
I guess the thing that kind of touches my heart the most is I look at the amazing things that these kids are accomplishing, these kids with IEPs are accomplishing in our classroom, and I think to myself, where would they be if they were in a traditional special education, self-contained classroom? And that breaks my heart a little bit because they're flourishing where they are. And I think that that's the biggest takeaway from this, is that given the opportunity, in the right environment, with the right support, these kids can make amazing gains.